Hey everyone, it's Erin Bassett here again, sharing with you this Project Life layout that I created. And I used a bunch of different supplies. Most of the papers are from Simple Stories, and then a bunch of little doodads, and of course my scan and cut machine, and the pens also by Brother. And so that's what I used on this. It is week 24 of my Project Life scrapbook album. So let's go ahead and get started. Turn on your machine and then go ahead and press that home button, and it will come up with a message saying that it needs to move everything into place, so hit OK. And if you're like me, it will bring up that message to recall the information that was in there from the previous night. I don't need that right now. So then I'm going to go into Scan and Direct Cut. And then I just need to load my paper onto my mat and insert it into the machine with that button, and then press the Start button and it will begin the scanning. Okay, so you can see it going through, and I'll try to keep this adjusted for you so that you'll be able to see the screen. Sometimes getting the right angle is hard with the camera. Okay, so I scanned my whole paper in. And now you can see it recognized it and it's on the screen, so I'm telling it it's okay. You can keep that, and let me zoom in and just check it all out. If you hit that little magnifying glass, it'll zoom, and you can scroll down to see the whole thing. So I'm going to cut out that little ticket that's at the bottom right there. Okay, so X out of that, and then you can just grab the handles around the image and select just the part that you want cut out. So I'm picking that little ticket that's down there and clicking OK. So you can see it on the mat, and then I'll click Cut and Start. So then it'll start cutting. When it's finished, it'll turn back to the home position. I can click OK, unload my mat, and then there you go. You can see it cut out that little ticket for me. So much easier than scissors. Okay, so let's go ahead and create this card that'll be in the first pocket of my layout. So I need a bunch of different colored papers. This is the grid paper that's in different colors, and then some craft colored cardstock that's 4x6. So I'm just turning on my machine again, and I have my colored paper already onto the mat. I'm going to go into patterns this time, and the fonts down there, I'm picking this font and start with the letter L. And OK. And you can see down here at the bottom is the width and height, or the height and width, of that letter. So I'm going to have all my letters be at 2 inches tall. And if you wanted to add other patterns or whatever, you could do that, or save it. I'm just going to click OK and cut. And then I can load my mat with that button, and then click the Start button right there. So there's the start. You can see once your paper is in the machine, it'll turn green. So then when it's finished, OK and unload, and there is my letter L. So I am going to repeat that process for the rest of the letters, and I'll fast forward the video for this part just so you won't have to sit through seeing the same thing over and over. But all my letters, once again, will be at 2 inches, and I'll just zoom through that. Okay, so unload it, and here's the I. And then back to the home screen, back into patterns. And there we go. F. And E. There's my E. Okay, so now I'm going to have the machine write the word hello onto that card. So I'm going to go back into the home pattern and then pick a font that I want. Pick that one. And I'm going to do lowercase. You can also do other characters or numbers. And then just type out the hello. Click OK. And adjust your height and width. I want my height to be about 1.5 inches tall, so I'm going to adjust to that. And then hit set. So you can see there it is. Now I want mine to be a little bit more narrow, so I can go and click on that button and it will unlink the height and width, and I can adjust them independently. So I'm going to change my width to 4.5 inches. So, and my height is staying the same, 1.5. Okay, there it is. Okay. Okay, and now I'm going to hit draw instead of cut. And then same thing, I can load my paper and hit start. Now this is how you switch out your different holders. That was the blade holder. This is the pen holder, it's white. You can see them, they're different. So that way you won't mix them up. And here's a little pen. I'm using the black one, but they also come in other colors as well. So just take the lid off of your pen and stick it into the pen holder. There's no wrong way to stick it in. And then just close the lid. Make sure the label is facing out and just drop it into that little thing and flip the latch down and you are good to go. So you can see I put my 4x6 craft colored cardstock onto my mat and then inserting it into the machine. Make sure it's on there good and tight. And the draw button is selected, and then just pick start and it will draw it out for me. And just remember to put that cap back onto your pen if you're going to go on to do other things. Okay, so now I need to just go ahead and stick my life letters onto there, and I can adhere those and then add some doodling to jazz it up. And then now I'm going to take a piece of scratch paper and stamp all these little cute arrows all over them. And then I can use my machine to go ahead and cut around them, because there's no way with scissors I would ever be able to do that. Even with X-Acto knife, it would be crazy. So click home button, scan, and direct cut, and it will go ahead and start scanning my paper. And so once that's finished, my screen will say it's preparing, and you can see it made it onto there. I can drag these little handles to select just the part that I want cut. And since my paper doesn't go over the entire mat, it will also scan those lines on the mat. Okay, so let's pick cut, make sure everything's smoothed down, and start. And we'll cut exactly around the edges of each of the stamped images, even the little, if I do wonky stamping, it will cut around that. So then I'll just clear everything off and unload my paper, and voila, my stamps. Very cute. Save the negative for doing some spray paint or something. So there's these little ones, and now I'm going to show you how you can add a little margin around them. So once again, I stamped arrows on there. Let me try to get this to work for you. There's the scan and direct cut, and then I can push the start button and it will scan my paper through just like I did last time. It's preparing it. See there, you see my screen. I'm going to drag my handles to select the arrows I want cut, and then I can pick this margin button and increase the margins to be whatever I want. I think I'm just going to stick with 0.04, and then I can click OK, and if it looks all good, OK, and then you can click the cut button, and then since your page is already loaded onto there, you just push start. So there you go, and you can see me cutting around all those. So unload all that, and there they are. And here you can see the difference between the two. Okay, so let's go ahead and load some paper into there. I'm going to click Patterns and Shapes, and then scroll through all of these to get my circle. And once again, you can change the height and the width, or unlink those to change it more of an oval shape. But of course I want a circle, so I'm going to go change it back to the original size, and then push that button to link them back up again. So now when I push the minus button, it will change both the height and the width to be about 2 inches. And click OK. So that's on my mat. OK. Cut. And then I can go ahead and push the start button, and it'll cut out my circle for me. So now I have that circle to use later. So I'm going to go back into Patterns, into Letters, click this font, and I'm going to go to lowercase. Remember, there's also these other characters, numbers, the ampersand, whatever you need. But we are going to do lowercase letters. And I'm going to type out the word green, and I'm going to apply this directly to my picture after it cuts out. So once again, I'll change the size of my letters just like we've done with all the other patterns. And when it all looks good, I'll click OK and then cut. You can see my practice one too. And so there I added that directly on top of my picture for my green smoothie. And then here's the finished layout, how it looks once I put all those pictures and everything into the little pockets. You can see there's that tag that I used. I just have the top of it sticking out. I've cut out a heart, very same process as cutting out a circle. There's that circle. One of those arrows I stapled onto it. Another little arrow. They're just so sweet to add to just everything. Stop by erinbassett.com to see more inspiring ideas, and check out more of the Scan and Cut machine by Brother. It does even more than I've already showed you in this video.